Hello. After a long break, I've had the most crazy summer. Um, this is my new late Roman army, or actually it's post-Roman British army for DBA, but it's somewhat larger. It's, I think, 3 units larger than the 12 that make up a DBA 3 army. So there's some choice here, but yes, I did these. They're Lurkio figures, except for just a very few thrown in for a bit of variation. They're Lurkio figures, and I put them together and painted them in between all sorts of craziness, all sorts of having to deal with decorators and scaffolding and family incursions. And initially I thought I was just going to do them in a very haphazard way, probably quite quickly, just as opponents to be a late Roman army for the Huns, and as a post-Roman British army, which is what they really are, for opposing Saxons. And but what I found was that as I sat down to do them, yeah, they became immensely pleasurable to paint and just to concentrate on these things and enjoy doing them. And so I really enjoyed doing them, and it's a change for me to do something so regular and with a consistent, a certain amount of underlying uniformity, which I like barbarians really, and I like subtlety, but suddenly you've got these bright colours, and they actually do look rather magnificent, I think. Those colours across a whole army, whereas in 28mm, obviously, I'm dealing with them as individuals and skirmishing primarily. So I was rather pleased with them in the end. There's a lot of fiddling, it has to be said, with very small shields and figures. The cavalry figures are jointed in the middle, which for some reason on these ones was actually quite infuriating at times. But anyway, they've come out. I'm rather pleased with them. Mostly LBMS shield designs, but some of them I've painted. I painted that little Vexillium there. How can we see that? And this is the general. And his cavalry. There's a unit of cataphracts as well. Yeah. And what else do we have? These guys, this cavalry, lighter cavalry. And I won't bore you with all these, but these are legionaries. These are lighter. I can't remember what the proper title of these are on the right. And then there's 5 stands of these. More auxiliary type, I guess. So that's them. That's what I've been doing in between all the craziness. And except that what I did first was in fact this lot. It's the Huns. I'm very fond of Huns. I don't know why, really. They've always appealed to me. And I always wanted I always wanted a fieldable Hunnic army ever since I was an adolescent. And you might know from an earlier video that I did, if you look at my channel, there's a muster look at my armies early on, first videos I made for YouTube, and showed these, but they were all the light cavalry, which is really, the largest arm of a Hunnic army, always, properly speaking, were based wrongly, mounted wrongly, so that there were 3 light cavalry to a base, which is no good. And they were as if they were heavy cavalry or just cavalry. So that had to be put right, because the mix up on the table would be terrible. Too easy to do. So I had to rebase them. And of course, if you know anything of my basing techniques videos I've done, I use milliput, and I really go for strength. Strength and naturalness is what I go for when I'm basing, and there's a video called something like that, basing strong and natural, or something like that. And of course it's murder to take them apart then. And so you can imagine tearing them off these bases with rock hard milliput around them, and they're so small, and it's too easy to damage them. But actually, after a little while, it's like everything else, really. If you settle down to do it and try and just work out a way to do it and kind of get into it, which I did because it was so much nicer than everything else I was having to deal with in life, I soon got a technique, really, a feel for it, a knack. And if anyone wants to know that knack, I might be tempted to do a video on it, although I don't know what I'd do. I'd need something to actually practice it on, I suppose. It's not a very pleasant thing to do, but it's once you've got that knack, you can even deal with rock hard milliput, 15mm Huns, without breaking the horse's ankles and that sort of thing. All those light cavalry are rebased. I don't think I did a very good video of these before, so it's not a bad thing to maybe show them a bit more now. This is Attila and his immediate entourage as an element, general element, DBA. I've also recently bought basic impetus, and I'm thinking of trying that as well with these guys. Anyway, so there's my Huns at last. I've got a Hunnic army, and I'm rather pleased with them, I must say. Um, they're rather splendid, and I had a battle ridiculously against Vikings the other day, out of sheer need to have a DBA battle and use the Huns, and they did win, but it was a very near close run thing. Vikings, because they're nearly all blades, they do hang in there, very tough. But the Huns won in the end. So the other thing is that the enemy for these post-Roman Britons really is this little army here. The Saxons, early English, Anglo-Saxons, pagan English, call them what you will. I like to call them pagan English. And I'm just painting a few more of these because this is almost exactly a DBA army, I think. And I'm just painting a couple more stands so that I can go over the 12 element strength that is meant to be the basic thing in DBA. Some of these armies I might actually double up to what they call big battle DBA strength, or actually no, that's tripling, isn't it? But I might double them for solo fighting, which is the main thing I do. Okay, well, anyway, 3 armies here, but this is the new one, and there it is. Hope you enjoyed looking at it, this little update. There is something else that I've been doing while going through this difficult summer, and but it's a very different kettle of fish. So, and it's in 28mm, so I'll show that separately. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you will. See you again. Thanks for watching.